I've never met anybody that could argue with the power of putting a book in a child's hand.
A program that supports the littlest learners could be at risk of closing. Why the United Way of Spokane County is fighting for a fraction of the state's budget.
Sunny and mild conditions this afternoon are only a sign of things to come. Even as we head into the weekend, we're talking sunshine and highs near 70 degrees.
I heard somebody hit the concrete behind me.
4 years after a deadly shooting in Pullman, the suspect is on trial. We are in Colfax tonight with the latest. Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. After a report of a robbery, a man died in Moses Lake while trying to flee from deputies. 2 other people were arrested. The Grant County Sheriff's Office said they arrested 36-year-old Champagne Garza and 30-year-old Becky Avalos as suspects. The Sheriff's Office said that crash happened on Lakeshore Drive south of I-90. They also said the vehicle they were pursuing crashed into a power pole and the man they were trying to arrest died at the scene. That crash knocked out power in the area, but it has since been restored. We hope to have more details coming up at 6 o'clock tonight. A program that supports the littlest learners in Spokane County is fighting for a fraction of the state's budget. KREM 2's Shannon Mowdy explains why United Way says its free children's library is at risk. Shannon?
For nearly 3 years now, United Way of Spokane County has partnered with Dolly Parton's Imagination Library to get free books into the hands of children. But that could all end this summer. From first lessons to lifelong learning, there's more behind a book's cover than words and pictures. Just ask Daniel Dent.
I've never met anybody that could argue with the power of putting a book in a child's hand.
It's why Spokane County's United Way partners with Dolly Parton's Imagination Library to deliver 1 book a month for free to children from birth to kindergarten. But now CEO Dent is more focused on numbers. These numbers.
That if the state funding doesn't happen, and that ends at the end of June, then we would be faced with doubling the cost.
Right now, United Way sends stories to around 10,000 kids every month, with each book costing United Way just under $2. The state covers the other half, but that funding hasn't been secured in the state's next budget.
It would be this real, tangible, I believe, negative impact.
United Ways all across Washington now face the same troubling narrative: how to come up with enough money to cover the costs or risk cutting the program. An anonymous survey showed caregivers in Spokane County told United Way the program inspired joy for reading, increased vocabulary. Some parents said it strengthened their bond to read with their children.
Books in the hands of kids and that engagement in learning at a really early age helps them get that best possible start in early learning.
There's talk lawmakers could set aside some money for the 49 Imagination Library programs statewide. Dent thinks maybe $1 million or $2.
But we're working off a $7.3 million fund afforded to us last time. It was really just to get the program going.
With the next chapter still unwritten, Dent's team is looking at all funding options in hopes they can keep this story going. The state lawmakers do not have long to figure out funding this and all other state-backed programs. The biennial budget must be finalized by Sunday. Shannon Mowdy, KREM 2 News.
Thank you very much. Tonight we are tracking the results from yesterday's special election. The Spokane County Fire District 8 levy is currently passing by a comfortable margin. Here's a look at the numbers right now. If the results hold, it'll restore the EMS levy from 30 cents to 50 cents per $1,000 of assessed property value. The fire district says the levy will fund the replacement of old medical equipment and allow them to hire more EMS staff. The other ballot measure asking voters is the Orchard Prairie School District. They asked voters to weigh in on a plan to build a new school. At this hour, that measure is also passing comfortably. If approved, that district would be able to issue a $6 million bond that would mature in the next 30 years to pay for the new construction. All right, let's switch gears and talk weather on this warm Wednesday. Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoud joining us from the Outdoor Weather Center. Jeremy, I don't know if a suit and tie is a good choice when it's this warm outside.
Mark, every time I walk outside in a suit and tie, I just get judged by the people of Spokane. They're like, "What's going on, buddy? You just look a little too professional for this." It's just what's expected. 61 degrees makes Mark right, though. 61 means if you're standing outside in a suit and tie, it feels hot. pretty much 60 degrees across much of eastern Washington and most of North Idaho. It's a warm one. You're up near 70 out in places like Moses Lake and Othello. It is very warm, but not as warm as we will be. Not a cloud in the sky, and as we move through the next couple of days, that pattern holds. And with ample sunshine and our longer days and higher sun angle, we wind up getting warmer. That's just how this one works. Our ridge builds over the top of us. The low in the Gulf of Alaska stays that way. It is going to help throw a little bit of energy at us, but that just goes way to the south. So instead of seeing the chance of rain Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, I've now removed it from all the days. Yesterday I removed it from Friday. Today, took it off Saturday, took it off Sunday, and we have sunshine dominating the forecast. 71 degrees tomorrow, 73 on Friday, 73 on Saturday. It is going to be beautiful the next few days. Even Sunday, we wind up close to 70 degrees with ample sunshine. This is one of those forecasts where it feels like we've really turned the corner. And I have been talking a lot about when we get our average last freeze. And I think with this kind of warm up and how long it sticks around, you are good to start planting this weekend. I know that's a big tell, but I think we're there, and I think we have turned that corner. Mark?
It sounds good, Jeremy. Thank you very much. After nearly 4 years, George Harris is facing first-degree manslaughter in Whitman County. Harris is accused of shooting and killing a man in Pullman and injuring another. According to Pullman police, back in September of 2021, a man named Liban Barre and a former WSU football player named Brandon Gray were at a party on College Hill when they were shot. Both men were taken to the hospital. Barre died from his injuries. KREM 2's Christian Garza went down to Whitman County today, and he brings us the very latest from the courtroom.
Well, right here behind me at the Whitman County Courthouse, we're hearing from eyewitnesses for the first time ever about what they saw the night of the shooting and how it has affected them ever since. For several hours, witnesses ranging from people at the party that night to professionals like the Whitman County coroner and a DNA scientist testified in front of a jury. During Tuesday's trial hearing, the jury listened as each witness shared a different aspect of the case, from the cause of death to what the crime scene looked like both during and after the shooting on September 25th, 2021. A DNA scientist out of Cheney confirmed that DNA was found on a handgun and magazine from the scene belonging to both Liban Barre and George Harris. Out of the 8 people who testified, 3 of those people were there the night of the shooting. All witnesses did not want their faces shown on camera, but this is what they remember.
I saw sparks, and I thought they were fireworks. And I realized that it was not fireworks, and I just started, backed up my car, and I left.
I saw someone go on the ground, and then my roommate pulled me into a bush, and then we heard the shots go off.
When the crowd of people kind of stepped back, I heard, "Now you're gonna die," and then I saw the muzzle flashes.
The medical examiner out of Snohomish County explained that Liban Barre died from 2 gunshot wounds that caused internal bleeding in his abdomen. The trial of George Harris III continues throughout the week right here at the Whitman County Courthouse. In Colfax, Christian Garza, KREM 2 News.
Here's what we're working on for what's coming up at 5 o'clock today. The state of Idaho passing legislation to limit certain groceries folks can buy with government benefits. We'll hear from the representative behind the bill coming up after the break.